That's not all.
Hello, guys. Oh, wait a minute. It looks like the broadcast was deleted. To restream, create a new broadcast. To hell with Facebook. Hello, guys. We are live again for the third week running with Mr. Chris Palmer. Getting some good responses here. From our previous channels, previous episodes, and people are loving it. So we're back for another one, and I'm getting feedback from somewhere. Previous channels, previous episodes, and I don't know where that's coming from. Is that yours?
Nope. I only have our StreamYard up and running here. Unless I don't need to mute it or anything, right?
Just no. It's all good. Technical problems, but fuck it.
Never a problem.
But yeah, so we're back again with Chris, and we'll be doing some more Ask Us Anything, basically, and we will go through and answer as many of them as we possibly can while we're waiting for people to jump in, and people are still coming in. Make sure that you do like and subscribe the channel. If you also do a YouTube search for Chris Palmer SEO, you will also see Chris's YouTube channel, who regularly posts a whole lot of weird stuff on SEO. And actually, Chris, we're actually competing for a search term on YouTube, blackhat SEO. I'm trying to knock you off for that. Sorry, bud.
Are you?
Yeah. Your video and mine, it just keeps rotating. For me, it does anyway. At the top, I think you're position 2, I'm position 3. Can't remember the guys at the top. But yeah, it was you. You've been that guy.
And two, I've noticed, I mean, I shouldn't say, but the more you produce videos for a particular term, then the higher, you know what I mean? So if you keep making black hat, then you'll win the term over the course of time, you know?
That's
you seem to be pumping them out as fast as me, so maybe faster.
Yeah, no, I'm all over the video stuff now.
Streaming doesn't produce results like uploads, though. So that's where I'll beat you, because I do the uploads.
I'm mixing everything. I'm uploading. I'm doing all sorts. So I'm just off with Holly Starks, literally from 4 until 5. So I'll be uploading that shit tomorrow. So I'll be doing uploads.
You'll get a do from me.
YouTube premieres. I'm doing it all. Fuck it. I'm going to figure out what's working. But yeah, good to have you again with your monster. I'm on here again.
Nice.
So we will dive straight in and go for the questions. We've got a fair few people now watching. So guys, ask your questions in the live chat. If we don't get time to go through them all, then make sure you put them in the comments and we will get back and answer them. Glock, I want to ask, how can I rank my print-on-demand website higher in Google? I'll let you answer it, Chris.
Age, content, links, traffic.
Yeah.
That's a massive question at the end.
Yeah, very generic question.
And on page.
We have got previous videos there. We've answered a whole bunch of questions. Probably better going over them and seeing what works in terms of CTR, getting social media traffic, writing content. But I think we've answered a whole bunch of questions over the period of time. I've also got a free training course you can get on my website, which is CraigCampbellSEO.com, and that will give you a much better understanding of all the things that you need to do combined to rank higher in Google. Craig Mullins, favorite links, domains, stacks that can be auto-generated, that can be used on a money or a main site that produce ranking gains and are generally safe to use in volume. Come on, Craig Mullins. Well, I'm not going to say I would point anything to my money website. Chris may debate that and tell us that he does. What's your thoughts on that, Chris?
Anything that's, mass produced or anything that's very easy to get, I would generally try to buffer that out. Unless it's not a site that you care about, but why would you spend your time with that anyway? So I would always tier it out. Don't ever mass produce anything to your site. Only high quality to the site. Tier it out.
Yeah. Yeah, tier it out is the exact way I would do it. I just have, I just won't take a risk with something that I have any kind of value on. Got a few other guys. Abinish, I've seen Abinish this morning. Thank you for joining us. Craig Mullins again. In the cryptocurrency space, favourite programs to make money in it? I'm not into cryptocurrency in any way. I think I bought some Bitcoin a few years ago, and I bought it for 4,000. I think it was at 4,000 it was valued at, and then it went up to 14,000. I shit my pants and grabbed all the money and ran and never bought it again. So I've made a little gain, but yeah, and I could have held out for that. I think it reached a peak of 17,000. I'll never forget it. It was November 2017, and I was at a conference, and a girl said, "Oh, I've just got into Bitcoin. I think I'm a bit late to the game. I bought in at 4,000. I fucking went up the stairs on the laptop, bang, and joined it. And I had no idea what the hell I was doing, but yeah, I went for it, man.
Yeah, I don't like anything to do with it. You know, it's not, if I can't hold it, I like tangible comics, gold, silver, you know, things like that. I like to hold it. I've ran into issues, you know, early on in my life.
If anyone else in the chat has any kind of cool programs for the cryptocurrency, if you can please let Craig Mullins know. We don't operate in that niche, and I don't want to just randomly make it sound as if we know what we're talking about by making something up. I could have Googled it, but fuck that. Yeah. Ray Colere, please explain what domain stacking is.
I mean, I think there's two different types of domain stacking, but if you're talking about maybe stacking domains in the way of having multiple domains pointing all to a money site, stacking domains in that way, or stacking domains as it could be referred to Web 2s or maybe other entities, I think there's multiple, answers to that, but it's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, stacking domains for the benefit of your money website. It's a kind of loose term. You know, it could be construed as multiple things, but either way, stacking up whatever it is, PBNs, you can call it whatever you want. So hopefully that answers your question. If not, come back and just let us know in a little more detail what it is you would like to know. Online leads. I want to know if anyone else has seen an influx of 3-pack positions being taken over by companies that don't even have websites on their knowledge sheet.
Yeah, I'm especially right now. I've noticed that recently, within the past day or so, 2 days, it's been a lot easier to move in. It seems like all of the things that we've done in the past week, whether they were gray hat or not, have taken flourishing. So I think it's going to take a little bit of time, especially right now. You're going to see a lot of that and an influx of that until Google catches up with, people maybe like myself or other people in the industry. So, and a website is completely irrelevant for ranking in a 3-pack or with maps. So,
yeah, I mean, I've seen so many locally guys that don't even have websites that have somehow verified the GMB and have directory listings, and that's enough for that to work, which is unfortunate. Fortunate, yeah. But I think in terms of the general goodness of the web, you want someone that's at least got a fucking website to be on there. In this day and age, it's 2020. But yeah, it is the way it is. D-Ruv, good to see you, brother. Javid Hakimi. If someone 301s a spammy website to your money site or to one of your citation URLs, can it impact your rankings negatively?
I would say that it most certainly can. However, if it's pointing to your site and somebody's trying to cause a ruckus negatively, you can always, if you know the site that's coming from, you can always create a redirect loop and just send it right back to them. So it's easily taken care of.
Yeah, send it back to them. Let them pay for their own SEO.
Or if I find out who owns that site, I might even just redirect it right back to their other entities.
Yeah,
you know, if they want to play that way.
Yeah. Whether they do it to your citation URL or not, I wouldn't be too worried about the citation URL, because that's they can normally handle more spam than, you know, maybe a smaller website or whatever. So yeah, I think what Chris says is the best answer. I'm not going to argue with that one because it's the funniest answer. Send it back to them, get it fucking up them. Right. So yeah. Alex Dunn, what are the best SEO practices with user-generated content in question and answer forums? How much should moderators edit user content to help with the ranking?
Well, I love user-generated, and I'm sure you've noticed your favorite blogger, SEO bloggers, love using user-generated content because it adds to word count. Now, as long as it's not duplicated consistently and scraped and it's nonsense that you're producing, I think that it's a benefit for the site. As long as it's not repetitive and derogatory in any way, and it's adding benefit to the end user, then I think it's a good thing. So that's my opinion.
Yeah. I would again agree with you on that. As long as it's adding value, why not? But you know, just it comes to get that balance of, you know, what's the best practice with user-generated content. You could use all of someone's content and it's not best practice. You know, it just depends how far you go with it. So yeah, be careful, man.
It's always that dance, right, Craig? It's always that dance of what's best for the user and what's best for SEO. You know, it's a fun dance.
As I say, it's good. It's even like you know, I'm using your content on this podcast, and you know, in a way, I'm using you to bounce off of, and using, you know, so why not? You know, sometimes using other people's stuff if it's beneficial to my audience, like Chris coming here, it's the same thing, obviously, in a video. Chris is probably dropping bombs that he's used a million times elsewhere, but it's helping my audience and keeping the show going, and that's what it's all about, just offering value. And I think that's the best way to look at it. So hopefully that helps. Experimental Rahul, what do you think about Google's core update? That question is going to be asked a load of times. Well, we will cover it off just once. What are you thinking of it so far, Chris?
I mean, I think it's just like all the others. I mean, it's been debated and talked about. I mean, it's just mind-numbing, really, and I just try not to focus on it. I just try to see where the problems are with my other sites and then make adjustments. Other than that, it's completely irrelevant. What's done is done, and that's that.
Yeah, you've got to just adapt to what you need to do now and what's working now. And if you were leaning heavily on something that's maybe been devalued or, you know, less weight given to it, then just adapt your approach. I don't get bogged out. One thing I would say that I see a lot is people getting bogged down, and they'll sit on the search engine journal and research and talk for hours and phone everyone. Just carry on doing what you're doing. Fuck that. Just see what happens. But I think if you're doing generally good stuff anyway, you're not going to see a huge impact as such in a negative way. You might even get some jumps. So fingers crossed that's the case for the majority of you. But it's no different from any of the other core updates that have been released in years gone by. They hit some people harder than others, and you just have to recover. You know, people were doing stuff that they shouldn't have when the initial Penguin and Panda came out and slapped a lot of businesses into touch from an online presence side, and people had to adapt. They just had to clean up their approach, their processes, the people they were using, and crack on and recover. So I think most of these updates penalise the people who are doing something they most likely shouldn't be.
That's right, and you know what you're doing.
Yeah. So Adita or something, Aditya Sorry for the pronunciation there. I have listened to many videos, but I'm confused. Should I use virtual silo or reverse silo? I've never heard of virtual silo.
Virtual silos, I mean, it's completely up to you how you set up your page structure. It's not recommended to do anything. The recommendation from Google is to keep your site flat and to keep the amount of jumps to a limit. Now, if I were to use a virtual silo or reverse silo or whatever the case is, that's a page structure and that's up to you. But either one is perfectly fine. But I would try to keep the amount of jumps, however you want to look at it, to a minimum.
Good answer. Good answer. SEO Plumber Pro. Should you link all of your blog posts to your home page? Sorry for laughing, but no.
I wouldn't listen. No, not all of them. No.
The purpose of internal linking is linking your pages to other relevant pages and to pass any link juice and power to the main pages on your website. So if you're an emergency plumber and you've got a page for emergency plumber, you've got boiler repairs, and you've got, I don't know, bathroom installation, because you might just sideline into that as well. See your 3 money pages, you would probably want to link to a lot of them from your blog posts, but certainly not to your homepage. But do it where it's relevant rather than doing it to the homepage. It's just going to look spammy and not really help by doing it to your homepage. Would you agree with that, Chris?
I would most certainly agree with that. Yep. And anchor text within internal is very important too. So yep, spread it around and use the right anchors.
Yeah. Blair Urquhart, good to see you, Blair. He's a fellow Scotsman. How is it possible for you to do all the YouTube videos or webinars or TikTok stuff all the time, more or less? People say that all the time, as if I release stuff every day. Today I've recorded 2 other webinars and this live with Chris. I don't record every day. I've got a bank of stuff that's there. So if you've seen a YouTube video or a podcast that I released yesterday, I still had hair. I shaved my hair off about 3 weeks ago. So I've got a bank of different stuff there. And I record probably 2 or 3 days a week, chop stuff up and distribute it as I see fit. And so I don't record all day every day. I probably have 4 days off a week. Try and have 3 or 4 days off a week. But I work very hard in the 3 or 4 days that I do work. But I try and like to have that balance. And even when recording TikTok videos or podcasts or whatever, I tend to do a whole bunch at the one time and then send them out as and when, because it's not possible to be on here and do this all day long. I've got other shit to be getting on with. So I probably spend 1 full day a week recording stuff, to be honest. That's how it's done.
Wow.
You do a lot of videos, Chris. Have you got any secret tips to that, or do you do similar same as me?
The biggest secret for me, what it was for me, was literally keeping, it was ridiculous, but literally keeping a schedule. Okay, from this time to this time, I'm doing this. From this time to this time. Okay, now from these hours to this is family time. No matter what, here's work time. That was for me, because once you're working, it's, and plus I'm like, hey, I could do this. So saying no and keeping a schedule is just like you said, basically.
Say no to a lot of stuff. I don't do anywhere near as much as people may think I do. It's just cleverly scheduled out as well to make myself look active every day of the week. And
when you make videos like this, they're easy to bust up and put on other platforms. So that's very, very helpful.
Exactly. And something that is going to go live in YouTube Premiere tomorrow is an interview with Holly Starks. It's not actually live. It was recorded an hour ago. So just another secret for you there. Christina, Google new algorithm update is coming. What do you think? What do you think we should focus on to save our sites? Or what harm will it bring to digital marketing, web design, niche sites? I mean, we touched on it slightly there, Christina. I think you've just got to adapt your approach. You may or may not have been hit by it. I have a guy who's the ultimate panic merchant, and I do some consultancy for, and he's on the phone. I've seen this in search engine land. What's going on? I log in and look at his analytics, and I'm like, your money's up, your traffic's up. So like what? And but Google update. And I'm like, please relax, forget about it, don't worry. It normally settles down. So what the hell was that, Chris?
What, the jug?
Yeah.
It's my water jug.
All right, your water jug.
You gotta, flush, you know.
Water's good for you. I will add one Craig to this chat now. I'm not sure what he's adding, but hey ho. Galib. How to get review listing a startup and pitch to portal easy. Does that make any sense to you?
No, it does not. No,
not to me either. Sorry, man. Can you reword that, please? Kevin Jonas Chong, I think you've been here before. I recognise your name. Good to see you again, buddy. Any quick win strategy SEO tips to outrank negative domains that are page one in Google together with your brand website?
It's following regular strategy. If they're winning, you should be matching, mimicking, and improving on what they already have that's working. You know, being rewarded by Google. So, I mean, that's a loaded question.
Or be a nasty bastard and just do some fucking negative SEO. And I'm only kidding on. We're not going down that road. Don't want to talk about that stuff. No, as Chris says, doing the right things to outrank them, more links, more content, better content, more videos, more citations, more everything. Just blast as much as you can out there. One little thing though, Kevin, I have seen. I gave away a free training course about a month ago, and I've got it on a platform called Thinkific, which is just a run-of-the-mill training platform. And the title tag on it's Craig Campbell SEO. That's on my training platform. Now, it's a subdomain. It's something like Craig's Thinkific.thinkific.com. And that ranks position 3 for my brand with sheer fucking click-through rate alone, because so many people signed up for the course that this thing's now ranking that's not optimized for my brand search terms. So you might want to play around with click-through rate manipulation to shuffle the stuff about. If you have a wee Google about click-through rate manipulation, you'll find ways to do it. You can use micro workers, you can use cell phones and do it yourself or whatever. Loads of different options there for doing that. So just another small suggestion.
Keep it steady though. That's the funny trick with CTR. Don't go wild and do some crazy ass shit. Like, it has to look natural, the same as everything else. That's right.
So Christina's asking, what do you think about a link exchange between two websites as an effective link building strategy or not? I mean, exactly between two sites. Will Google see both links? I'll let you answer it, Chris.
I don't see any problem with it at all. I mean, Google loves links. So I don't see anything wrong with it at all, but I wouldn't base my only strategy around that and have it only with this site to this site and that site links to you. You know, a few here or there, 20, 30, maybe. No, 5 or 6 is perfectly fine. So,
what that's known as is reciprocal link building, and it's an old technique which I'm sure Google won't frown upon at all. But most importantly, what you want is more people to link to you than you link to people, which is a one-way link, just someone pointing to you. So whether you put out good content or whatever, do something crazy and all these people link to you, then you want to get that. I think that's the best. But yeah, as Chris says, mix your link building strategies up. And I'm sure you'll get an element of reciprocal and one-way links, if you want to call them that. Mario, how important is it to have a business physical location in an area where almost all the competitors have one?
That it's completely irrelevant. I mean, you could have a service-based business for a particular area. I don't think you need to actually have a physical location where people can come in to compete with other people that do. So I think I don't see any problem with it.
No, not at all. I think as long as you do your GMB optimization properly, citations and all that, and I was talking to Holly earlier, who's got and you've probably seen this, Chris, the 100 phones or whatever it is she's got, and she's just clicking in and checking these locations and doing brand searches, and she's seeing crazy movement on engagement on GMBs as well from stuff. So you can play about with that, and as I say, if you're going to do that, and whether you've got an office or not is really irrelevant. Google can't see the office, probably doesn't care, as long as it's been verified by phone or mail. Then I've seen I've seen in really competitive markets, businesses I know for a fact are not at that location because there's not a fucking office space there, and somehow rank for being in a bloody field or whatever, So how the person verified it is up for debate and what they've done. But Google's certainly not that clever. And yeah, you don't have to do that, mate. So hopefully that answers it. Mario, we only do mobile jobs and our site never ranks without ads. You're probably not doing something's not been done right somewhere along the line. Yeah, have a look at your SEO. If it's not yourself, if you've got someone doing it for you, have a look at what they're doing. Certainly, if Chris or something was doing it, I'm sure that wouldn't be a massive problem for you. John Walker, thoughts on using Quora as a source on backlinks?
I love Quora, but I wouldn't say relatively for links. I like it for generating traffic. I like to have my name and my face, my little emoji photo everywhere. So that's what I like it for, not for links. Traffic.
Yeah. I mean, I like Quora for traffic as well. I've never thought of it as a link building resource. I would have just assumed that the links on Quora are no follow. I have never even checked. It's just because on most other social media platforms, they tend to be no follow. So I would assume I'm not sure actually, but there's certainly Quora is good for driving traffic and engagement, which indirectly helps your SEO. So Quora ads, as well as I've found being able to place ads on very relevant questions has driven some serious and very low cost traffic to my website. So I love Quora as well. So hopefully that answers your question, John. Zahir, in the last session, one of the things I learned is to look for Amazon alternative. But for learning, can I use my AM website for Google Ads as well?
I've seen both on pages before, but generally, I mean, if you have a review-based page, I would maybe just keep that Amazon or maybe look for another affiliate program. But I don't see any issue with that.
No, definitely not. I think, but the most important thing you're saying here, Zahir, is for learning. This is a learning curve. It might not be that effective, but you will learn something from it, and you will know the answer to it, and be able to answer that better than us because we're not actually testing that as such. Well, I'm not anyway. So yeah, give it a go. Don't be scared to give anything a go. Every day's a learning day, and trying these things out certainly will do you no harm at all. Bhobs Whooper, not sure if that's a fake persona or not, but let's go for it. 10 most. We're not going to answer 10 of the most important things because that's an outrageous amount on question and answers, and we've got quite a lot of questions to go through. What are the kind of top few things that you would think are important to optimizing an e-commerce website?
I think that's just like all other websites as far as SEO are concerned, but the number one piece that I would look at would be conversion. After all of your other SEO factors are in place, whether you're on page, your technical, your speed, is your content up to par, all of that type of SEO. But then I would definitely focus on conversion being number one once everything else is in place.
Interesting. And also what I would add to that, that I see a lot with e-commerce, is just make sure that your money pages get indexed and all that shit that a potential e-commerce website can do, and all these kind of search parameters and everything else are all filtered out because you don't want that wasting your crawl budget. See that quite often with an e-commerce website. So just be careful of that. Just a little small tip. Adaitia, sorry to say, Chris, sir, I have seen one of your video and that you have recommended about Virtual Silo. It was me that said I hadn't heard of it. Chris answered that question. It's, again, Virtual Silo isn't a term I'm familiar with. It, I know what a silo structure is. Mm-hmm. Virtual Silo might not be the way that we call it in the UK, but yeah, Chris didn't say.
Floating silos, virtual silos. The only thing different is instead of it being in your actual, let's say you're using WordPress and you're using it as your, as your regular page structure, you would just literally type it into the URL bar. So
right.
You see what I'm saying? So you would just / you would just type it into your
No, fair enough. No, that's a lesson for me. Always good. Kevin Jonas Chong, my client is suffering from negative review websites that is appearing on page 1 of Google when you search their brand name. Any quick win SEO strategy or tips to outrank the negative websites? I mean, it's obviously a reputation management gig.
Well, are they using any images from your site? Are they using any copyrighted images? You could always send traffic to your site. You could also put in other reviews, but I would really look at are they using anything from your site, whether it's a photo, whether it's any type of text. And if they're not, put it on your site and then put in a claim.
Yeah.
Right. I have a video on that, going into a little bit more depth, but yeah.
Yeah, so Kevin, if you are looking for more in depth on that particular subject, shoot Chris a message on Facebook or go to his YouTube channel and find that video. Exactly. It's obviously important for you to see and go in depth on what can be done there. But yeah, there are ways that you can devise a strategy to do that. I've seen lots of gigs where Glassdoor or something like that's come up and said, these are scamsters, and it's been a disgruntled ex-employee or whatever, having a pop. But yeah, give Chris a message and he can point you in the right direction of the video that goes into more detail.
Surely.
No problem, Blair. Supercar Savers, do 499 plus big boy guest posts make you twitch? Or are you all in if the site has big traffic and strong metrics?
I've paid more for links in the beginning of my SEO cycle. I don't think $4.99 for a proper link is out of line. So,
it depends where you're getting it from. Where you're getting it from. $4.99, for a big boy, as you have put it there, guest posts that's going to drive traffic, give you some decent link juice, and it, and most importantly, has those metrics that you want. It's not a bad thing. You pay something like, this is just a ballpark figure, like between about $150 for a DR30. You probably pay about $200 odd for a DR45 plus, and it would probably be $300 plus for a DR60. That's your general run-of-the-mill mummy blogger and shitty guest posts. Obviously, there's sites out there that will charge you £1,000, if not higher, for some of the kind of big boy stuff. So I've seen, money exchange hands, £7,000. the way I look at it is not the figure, it's how much ROI could I get from that, how much traffic, how much exposure, is so here's an example, right? So when I first started out the speaking world, now it's not a guest post, but what happens is when I started out the speaking world, I could not get a fucking speaking gig. No one knew who I was. I wasn't given a fair crack of the whip anywhere. And I decided to pay $2,500 to speak at Brighton SEO. And I took a stand there, and the stand was to promote training courses, and the $2,500 was to speak. Now, you could look at that and say, why the fuck should I pay $2,500 to share knowledge? You do that once and you deliver and you get that exposure, then you'll make that money back tenfold, and you get speaking opportunities and you get all of this other stuff thereafter. So it's what value does that $499 bring, or the $2,500 that I paid to speak at Brighton? What did that bring? It brought me a lot of exposure, a lot of opportunities. It also brought me a lot of business. And the same will go. It's the exact same thought process would go into paying for one of those big boy guest posts. If that's going to do the damage in terms of exposure, recognition, or whatever it's going to be, get all over it, man. $499 is not a lot of money.
Knowledge bomb, Craig. For me.
Yeah. Oh, listen.
I'd pay anything for an opportunity.
You've got to pay initially. If you're a nobody in terms of reputation and stuff, sometimes you have to, money talks, right? So anything can happen if you get money, and all you need is that one chance to show someone, and it's all good. But CaveShadow, will links built from Google properties go stealth in SEO tracking software if performing competitive reporting?
You'll still see one. I mean, you'll still see a Google show up. But you're not going to see a flood of links come. No. So yes and no, but you're still going to see at least one, especially if you're coming from a Google site.
Also, guys, remember when you're using Ahrefs, SEMrush, even your search console, you're only seeing a snippet of links that are out there. You do not see every last link that's going on anyway. They don't have the ability to do that. So just be careful.
I literally just did a video on that too. And just because it's not showing up in a tool or it's not in the search results does not mean it's not indexed. Doesn't mean it's not being counted or passing power.
Yeah. A lot of people are like, I don't see it in my search console. You're fucking up to no good. And you're like, dude, man, you need a search console. Why it's not there? It's not my problem. But here's the fucking link. Go and look.
That's right. De-index pages are still getting crawled. That means they're still passing juice.
Yeah. So John Walker says they are no follow. Thanks for the advice. So yeah, that was the question about Quora.
What's your opinion on that? Do you feel that no follows don't pass any power? I think they do.
I mean, I wouldn't say no to a no follow link. If it drives traffic and stuff, do they pass power? I've never done a single variable test. I'm pretty sure they probably do to some degree. And as I say, it's not just about the follow. I think having a no follow link is perfectly natural to have. You get no follow links from all over the place because they don't pass the supposed, 100% of the juice. They may pass 20, they may pass 30, but it's what else they drive. Is it traffic, click-through rate, and all that other good stuff as well. So yeah, I don't get too hung up on the no follow, do follow. If I'm paying money for a link, of course I want to follow. But in general, if I get one from Quora and it's worthwhile sticking in there and it's relevant to the user, then yeah, let's do it. But
I agree.
Supercar Savers Is Chris drinking out of a bucket? Yes, he was. That's what I thought he was drinking out of.
Kool-Aid bucket.
I've seen a guy. No, this is the God's honest truth. I was in at Chiang Mai SEO, and there's this dude called Mad Singers, quite a well-known guy in the industry, and he was walking around with a fucking bucket with a straw. Now we're all going out there with our beers and all that. He's just sucking out this bucket, and I'm like, man, what the fuck is in that bucket? And it was just a cocktail of everything the fucking bar had, poured into one bucket, and that's what these guys are doing. They're just absolute maniacs. But I thought you were doing something like that. When I seen that, I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
No, I try to,
flush
the caffeine and stuff.
Yeah. Alex Dunn, other than link building, what are some ways to increase domain authority?
I think that comes from age and links. And that's I think authority and domain authority get mixed up a lot, but domain authority is a third-party metric. But I think authority is gained from time and links coming in, referring domains.
Yeah. There's no other real way for Google to determine authority other than whether you're on authoritative websites or whatever. So yeah. Amit Ghelani, do image alt tags still matter?
I think they matter for overall keywords on page, and I think they matter if you want to rank your images in image search. I think they matter. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, no, interesting. It's something I'm quite lazy on, but image tagging, in particular on powerful websites like Pinterest and whatnot, can actually make a significant difference. If your website's powerful, also if you do that and you've got big authority and power, you'll probably see that your images rank quite easily in the image search as well. But I know just in terms of banter and jokes, I've got a lot of friends who do image optimization, and they do things like the sexiest girl in Manchester. If you Google that, it's actually one of my friends, James Dooley, who's dressed up as a woman at a stag do, so just for jacking around, and they use the power of Pinterest to be able to do that. So yeah, and it just shows you the power of a tag can make a difference depending on what website it's on. So it's good practice to do it as well. So.
And text on images too. I think for some reason it could just be, correlate, but it seems like when text are on images, I seem to grab snippets. If all the other pieces are in place, like the images show up. And two, like with Google Lens, the way they're reading it, they have, I forget whatever they bought, but I think images are important, so yes.
Yeah. Everyone's got their own quirks. As I say, I'm probably still quite lazy in the image tag situation, but that's probably why many of my images don't rank. So it's probably something, it is something I'm addressing as we speak. I was also very lazy with meta descriptions, but in terms of click-through rate and stuff like that, it's probably best practice to now go through them and better them. So all these small things go to some way making a difference.
And multiple forms of schema on page is important, I think, too.
Yeah.
Not just that LD,
Schema's another one I need to get my finger out with and
definitely
start properly. But Christina, probably my last question. Do not feel that you have a last question. Ask as many as you like.
Sure.
Trust flow majestic is important. Is it important for Google? If yes, how to increase the trust flow number? So I'll let you answer it, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a third-party metric. Do I think it's important to Google? Probably not. I mean, those third-party metrics are just a way to, it's who do you trust? So how do you increase it? Trust flow and citation flow, just like all the other ones. It's how many links do you have and how powerful are they? So that's how you increase those.
I think for me, if I was giving advice, Christina, is use it as a guide to know whether a link's powerful or not. Don't solely chase trust flow, because trust flow can change. If someone comes to me and there's a trust flow of 20 and I think, that's a shit trust flow, I'm getting a link from that, it's not good, that can turn into 30 or 40 very quickly if that guy's proactive in building links. So do not just chase trust flow in terms of getting links. Also, do not chase trust flow in terms of your own website and trying to manipulate it. If you do things naturally, that stuff will come as a natural progression.
But I do like Majestics. I do like to look at that metric. I think that's a trusted metric. One of them.
Yeah, people have used it for many years. TF CF. When people are buying links, or DR is another common one with
Ahrefs.
Ahrefs. No one really uses DA, although DA looks a lot higher than if you look at a DA 30, it may only be DR9. So they're all, I
have found that DA and PA are more widely known, though. What I mean? As far as like videos and stuff, I've noticed a lot of people ask about that.
Yeah. Listen, different communities and different groups of people, are all talking about different stuff. They're talking about them all, to be fair. And it's whatever tool you use, use that. And
it's true.
Yeah. MK. So do you see black hat techniques becoming harder and harder with time due to Google's algorithms becoming smarter?
I think that black hat techniques are just evolving over time as Google's algorithms are becoming smarter. Just like with everything, even white hat techniques are changing and evolving. So it's just time, and it's just life. I mean, things change.
It's Google are going to update something. Someone smart out there, and I'm not one of them. These guys who create these tools and softwares and everything else will find a loophole somewhere along the lines. Everything's there to be broken. So I think that's the perfect answer. What you're saying, it evolves, and it's something I look forward to doing, and it has evolved. I've been hearing since like 2008 that SEO is going to die. We're 2020 and it's not really changed that much either. It has evolved. Of course, it's evolved, but
I think those sneaky pieces are the pieces that change frequently. But your basic SEO, your from start to finish is pretty much the same. It seems like.
Yeah, obviously you've got now things like schema and knowledge graphs and GMBs and all the shit that wasn't there before. But again, there's always a way and a method and a process to doing that. And you've just got to keep up to speed and surround yourself with the right people and watch the right videos to keep up to date with it. Or, you're going to be in serious bother if you're still doing reciprocal links and that's all you're doing. So yeah, just evolve, man. We have 12 minutes left, guys. If you can, please like, subscribe. That would be much appreciated, and we will continue to ram through as much of these as we can. Rick Reese. Have there been issues with GMB verifying new listings with phone verification? My client never received a phone call, and then GMB suspended the listing when the postcard method was used.
I think it's both times. I think that if you were seeing a phone verification for your client, I'd like to know the category you're using. And other than that, I just think that's strange. Is your client going in there and changing a lot of stuff? Are you changing a lot of things? I mean, there has to be something, because generally if you have a verified business with a phone and the social profiles and you get the postcard, you should never have trouble. But if you're automatically going in and getting phone verifications, I'd like to know the category, please.
Yeah. It's hard to say, Rick, there. It's not something I've come across as a common issue as such. But I do know that when you do have an issue with Google, trying to get it sorted can be a pain in the ass. So good luck with it. Supercar Savers. Maximum number of sites you'll add to one persona Search Console account. Some SEOs I know add all their sites into one Gmail account. For me, it's a maximum of a few mixed per Gmail. The paranoia is real.
Each of the sites that we run, one Gmail, one Search Console, one persona, one account. So one. Everything is completely separate, always.
Yeah, no, I'm also, I came from the background of building a lot of PBNs and avoid leaving footprints. And I was also very ultra cautious and had one persona, one PBN, one Gmail, very, very cautious approach. I've never been a fan of, maybe trying 2 or 3 or 5 or 10. And it's not something I'd be interested in testing. I know what I do in terms of the way I was building PBNs and whatnot was probably the least cost effective and probably least quickest way of doing things, but it worked well for me. And I didn't have to shit my pants at night, worrying about someone catching me. So I think the same process goes here. If you do one, as Chris is saying, then you can kind of rest easy to some degree. Kim Robinson, good day, guys. Good day. 12:45 a.m. and all is well. So you are in Australia, I'm going to assume. Especially the good day. Good day, mate. Crocodile Dundee was actually one of my favourite films as a kid. Don't know why, I just loved that guy. So
I like brothers. On a mission from God.
Amit Ghelani, thank you for the advanced course and all the additional knowledge you're sharing. If I come to Glasgow after the lockdown is over, I'd love to buy you a drink or several. Yes, I'm always up for people buying me a drink. That on a serious level, if you ever are in Glasgow, I love meeting new people, networking and stuff, and having a chat about SEO. So definitely shoot me a message if you do ever appear in Glasgow. It will be a pleasure. Sanjeev, how much time Google will take to regularly crawl or index articles on a brand new website?
I mean, if you're submitting them in Search Console, I mean, I've seen fast a day. It just depends. And how many pages do you have? But generally, if you're using Search Console, it should be relatively quick. It has been, at least lately.
Yeah. Daniel Douglas, hey fellas. As a new SEO affiliate, what are the core skills I should build my knowledge around? Cheers. I think, Daniel, what you have to focus on is the monetization and figure out the various options out there, because Amazon, which you'll probably see a lot of people talk about when it comes to affiliate, has recently cut their commissions to a level where I don't believe that it's a fair and successful business model. And Chris and I were talking about it prior to coming on here in terms of what commissions you can make. So, Chris and I had the discussion where Chris was selling hosting stuff as an affiliate, and he was getting like $20 for a hosting account, a one-off fee. Whereas you can go to the likes of SEMrush or various other tools, and they'll give you 40% recurring for the lifetime value of the customer. Now, the point I'm trying to make here is there is good deals out there. Don't just jump into the first one. Sometimes you can jump in and get hooked up on Amazon, and you're all out, all your budget's in there, and you're smashing the shit out of it and maybe earning 5% when you could have got 20%, through the hosting that Chris does. Or even better still, go to SEMrush or many other tool providers will give you 30 or 40%, no problem at all. So do your research on the monetization model first and foremost, and then learn SEO. So it's a long journey. Well, not a long journey, but you probably have to understand the finance side of things before you get balls deep into trying to rank websites. Sorry, probably not a good term to use, but
funny though.
Yeah.
And who you're competing against, because I don't show too many sites, but the ones that I have were the hosting. See who you're competing against and see who you're knocking off, because remember, now they're your competition. So make sure you can consistently beat them.
Kim Robinson again. Ooh, I have a category that does phone verification. Email me later, Craig. I will be emailing you later.
Darn, this should have been for me.
Supercar Savers. Any experience with Baidu We're just setting up some Chinese domains and having a play. I love guys like you, man. Try it out. Seems like a dumber Google. Easy to game with links. Problem is I can't write Chinese that well.
I've never played with it, but I mean, it seems like it would be fun, and I would definitely try it out.
What I would say is I've not tried Baidu, but what I would say is that SEO in countries like Greece, Poland, Italy, the algorithm from Google is not the same as it is in the UK and the US. Spam still works in Greece. Spam still works in Italy and many other countries. I think UK and US audience being the biggest and most popular, the algorithms are a hell of a lot more aggressive. I know guys that still rank using GSA blasts alone in some of these European countries. And I'm going to assume that Baidu is probably similar. You know, they're fucking 10 years behind. And you get, listen, I might try some Chinese shit myself, actually, because, you know, if you can rank that with some of the old methods, blog commenting and firing up Scrapebox and GSA and all that shit, then I might come to China myself and make some money. But listen, you can hire a Chinese content writer, that's not a problem. So good. Let us know how it goes. Be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, good luck with it. Kim Robinson, LMAO. Don't mind a bit of Dundee myself, talking about Crocodile Dundee. Laura McAdams, Rick Reese, I had the same issue. Request a new call, then postcard, and just follow it up until it gets straightened out. It took weeks to get resolved. Good advice, Laura. Thank you for chipping in with that. It's always good to help and support. Harry Peters, best way to get links from high-value sites such as Guardian, Reader's Digest, Daily Mail, NY Mag, how to get to editors and freelance journalists. What's any tricks on getting to these journalists?
I think a really good way would be see who's offering them within the platforms for a particular amount. I think and when they give you their prior work, I think you'll be able to see who their publisher is. And then maybe I would try to reach out to them that way. So that's probably the route that I would go. You know, that way you could probably save potentially.
Here is a knowledge bomb, Harry. Reader's Digest is available on People Per Hour. Just go into the search bar and look for it, because I bought a Reader's Digest. I bought a Reader's Digest link not so long ago myself. So it's on People Per Hour, but don't tell John Mueller. But another little trick is what I've found is you can approach people with editorial access to some of these big newspapers or whatever it's going to be through LinkedIn. So you can go through LinkedIn, identify them. There's a plugin called Contact Out, a Google Chrome extension, called Contact Out, where you can get that person's email address. You can get anyone's email address from LinkedIn through this Chrome extension called Contact Out. I just say to them, listen, I see you get editorial access. What's it going to take to make sure that my link is on there? And you'll probably find that editors are very low paid and are very much open to bribery and scandal. So that's always worked well for me in the past. You know, just offer them a nice new Gucci bag or something like that, or whatever, whatever works for that person.
Yeah, that's how we find it. I mean, that's once they showed the proof, it shows who wrote it, and then you just reach out to them. So
yeah. So yeah, that LinkedIn trick is good. A few more questions. We'll try and beast through these before we go. We've got a couple of minutes left. CaveShadow, in your experience, does consistent 1 to 2 post GMB posts increase phone calls and 3-pack ranking? If so, what interesting things to increase calls or rank? Post stacking, linking to each other work?
I think that consistent posting allows for traffic. Do I think that it's going to affect your rank? It might if you're getting clicks, into your maps. But the trick with, running an event and stacking it, I don't think that that's necessarily going to help the GMB rank, but consistently posting, consistently getting traffic, I think that it's a plus signal. So that would be my best advice there.
Perfect. SEO Plumber Pro for local SEO. Are you able to consistently rank #1 in Google in surrounding towns aside from your location, which is obviously not these other towns? 100%.
Consistently rank #1 in every single, not ever consistently.
I mean, obviously Google use a number of different stuff for GMBs in terms of where you are in terms of where that location is. So they're using like location GPS stuff. So it depends on what you mean, but it is physically possible to do that, but it would probably cost you a bomb. You can manipulate that stuff. If you've got loads of phones and shit like that, it is doable. But for the general person using citations and Google's algorithm and all that kind of stuff, they don't just take into consideration. They're taking into consideration the place where the person's searching from as well. Sadly, so they're trying to make it fairer for local businesses and for guys like Chris not to game the system. Sorry, guys like me to game the system. And the last question we've got here is from a Shana Kumar. What about Mr. Terry Pius Pereira? Are you satisfied with my data? Does that mean anything to you, Chris? I don't know. He's talking about Mainline New Innovation 2019.
I have no idea who.
Are you satisfied? I've not seen any of this data, mate. And
Naha Kumar. I send you the data. I'll let you know.
Yeah. Yeah, send it to me as well. I like data.
I'll take a look.
But sadly, we are out of time for this week. Supercar Savers, thank you for coming along. I know you're a regular here. It is a pleasure to have this. It's a bit of fun, a bit of excitement while we're in lockdown. Thank you, Chris, again for joining me. Are we up for another one?
I'm always up. Definitely.
Come back again, same time next week. Hopefully, we'll have give us the best questions, like the dirtiest questions. Like, Chris is fairly open in terms of his approach, and it doesn't even have to be his approach, just approaches he's heard of. I'm the same, so we can dig into various areas. It could be GMB stuff in more detail.
Yeah, I learn a lot from the guys I work with. It's not all me. Believe that.
Yeah. But no, thank you everyone for coming. CaveShadow, Kim Robinson, thank you very much, Kim. It's good to see someone up so late and watching our dulcet tones. But no, we will all catch you later on. And as I say, a big thank you to Chris again for adding massive value. So same time next week, guys. We'll be back again. More questions. Catch you all soon.
Looking forward.
Cheers, man. Bye-bye.
See you, Craig.
See you later, Chris.
Leaves